Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel here today, and we're back for another What If Walking Dead video here today. And today, my friends, we're going to be discussing what if Lee had never met Clementine and how the story would have gone. This will not be a long video because there's not really that much I can really divulge out of my head, but this is basically a what if theory. If Lee had never ran into Clementine, how the story may have gone, because this will change possibly everything in terms of how the story went. So, if you guys could leave a like, if not already, you're new, subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciated, because like I said again, season 4 and only about, 5-6 more months, guys. So make sure, again, you hit that notification bell and subscribe and leave a like if you're enjoying it. And again, link down below in the description for our next video. If you guys have an idea, if you guys want us to upload, definitely check that down below in the description. Alright, so, remember, Lee met Clementine through the crash. So let's make a hypothetical theory here and say the crash still happens. Let's say this crash still happens, but Lee never runs into Clementine. Let's say Lee gets into Clementine's house after, maybe, doesn't see Clementine after he fights the police officer, and he ends up finding possibly some other kind of person. Let's just say Clementine doesn't exist. Let's just say they didn't have Clementine part of the story. So, how different would the story be? How would they make Lee's character? Because a lot of the decisions, a lot of the story was based off of Clementine. It was Lee's redemption story to save Clementine, as Lee was a murderer. He murdered some guy sleeping with his wife. So the whole emphasis was Lee saving through Clementine, keeping her alive and stuff, maybe making a redemptive, purgatory sort of. Because I saw a video about this discussing Lee and how, he starts off with a gunshot, here's a gunshot, Clementine's house, and then it ends off maybe potentially in a gunshot at the end. So just maybe the gunshot symbolizes Lee, Lee going through purgatory, like this is his purgatory state. So let's just say Clem's not in the picture. So let's say this crash happens. Lee goes potentially to Clem's house, but Clem's not in the house. Let's say Clem's just gone. Clem's not even in the story. So this is not even Clem's house. Lee maybe runs into the call, but Clementine's not there. Clementine went with her family. So how different would the story be if Clementine was not in it? I think there would be another major character. I don't know if it would be potentially maybe Lee's son. Maybe Lee had a son, if this would be drawn out. But there would have to be some younger character, I think, or at least some kind of friend, something that Lee could find redemption through, because honestly, this was an entire redemption-based story, and without Clem, they'd have to find some other character that Lee could make redemptive actions through. So I think it would potentially, if Clem was not part of the story, I think it could potentially be some other kind of younger character, potentially, or a family member, or just potentially even a son of Lee. So let's just say, for example, let's cross out the cop thing. Let's say Lee's just driving with his son. And, let's just say maybe the son replaces Lee, or replaces Clem. And through actions, I think the story could be pretty similar. You really could put a lot of, you can't really replace Clem, but you can put a lot of the similar elements that Clem had in the story if you'd brought another character to maybe assimilate her place and present a different kind of vibe. Probably would not be as good as maybe the relationship with Clem and Lee, because that's on another spectrum of levels. I still think, though, we could have easily have met Kenny, gone to Herschel, but some of the decisions we would have had to make, and maybe, like I said, Clementine's such a well-rounded, based, mind-changing, emotional, just overall empathetic character, that this character that would have to replace Clementine would have to be something along those lines to even make season 1 even close to the level of season to the other season 1, the actual season 1. It would have to be like a different version of season 1. Because Clem is a lot of the emphasis of it. Honestly, you could easily, have the same choices, but with a character not being of Clementine's level, the story could have suffered as a result, and people would maybe not been as engaged to the story potentially as they should have been. So let's just say, I think things could have played out very similarly. Originally, which is really funny, what I find pretty cool is that Lee, I don't think was originally supposed to be part of the story. I think you were supposed to be a playable character I believe originally their first idea was that you were going to be the, I think, the brother of Clementine. I don't know if I'm 100% certain about this. Someone in the comments double check me, but you were either supposed to be like Lee's brother, or you're supposed to be like a brother. Like Lee's other thing was supposed to, I don't even think Clementine was supposed to be. I think you were gonna still play as Lee, but I think the character you were gonna be with was Lee's brother, potentially. I don't know if that was 100% sure, but there was something like that. Either you were supposed to be Clementine and Clementine's brother. I wasn't 100% certain about it, but I think that was it. So basically, let's just say that goes through. So let's say if Lee's brother is with us. So how would the decisions maybe go different? It easily would go different, because I'm pretty sure Telltale did discuss this. Actually, it was, I think, originally planned that Lee's brother was supposed to be the Clementine of the story, because I know there was a lot of cut content, and I believe that was one of the things, if I'm not mistaken. But let's just say things would go out pretty similarly. In all honesty, though, I would have really been interested in this idea. But other than that, my friends, really, what do you guys think would have happened if Clementine was not in the story? Do you think it would have been based off Lee's brother and Lee together? Would it have been a new character that would have replaced Clem? How would it have gone? Because obviously I don't think it would have been as good as Season 1 originally was. Honestly, just many decisions. You could easily look at the food decisions, the station wagon, cutting the hair. It would be completely different. I mean, there'd be so many differences that they would have to draw up just because of this one thing. The Clementine being in the story was just, it's monumental. It was monumental to how things had gone. So this is pretty a short one, but I believe if Clementine would have not been the story, I believe we would have seen a lot more of Lee being a leader, I think, in terms of, being more of a, I think fierce. Lee could be fierce no matter what if you did decisions with him, but since he had Clem around, he had to be a little more passive in terms of how he acted. But I think with like someone like Lee's brother, Lee can go a little more angry on them, without a doubt, and definitely be more of an intimidating character. But I don't think we would have gotten that connectional bond with Lee and Clem based on how things had gone. But other than that, that is my video here. Basically, not a lot to really talk about in this, but it's basically just a little small of what I think could have gone down if Clementine was not involved in the story, and how if Lee not met Clementine, how things maybe would have gone. I think we would have had a lot of the same actions as things had gone in Season 1, but I just think another character would have filled in Clem's shoes. Probably not done as good of a job as Clem, but we probably would have had elements, very similar elements in terms of characters, but just how things maybe go with how characters react to you, and things would have changed without a doubt. And there's just, a lot that you could think of. But hope y'all enjoyed. If you can go for 100 likes on this video, greatly appreciate it. And please give me your comments. What do you think would happen if Clementine was not in the story, and how Lee would have done as a main character as a result? Thank you all again for watching, and I'll leave the card in the top right if you're checking out the Walking Dead Season 4 videos you may have missed, as well in the description down below. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.